Listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, man, and it's been a hot day in the H, man. Welcome to being a homeowner because my AC is out too.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
it ain't so.
Been out for 2 days now, man. I'm going on 3 days, and I can hear I got 3 air conditioners in the house, right? And 2 on one side and 1 on the other, and the one on the other is the bedroom, air conditioner. And I heard something up top, like ding, 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 a little something. I'm like, man, we'll just let it ride. I ain't cutting it off. Just gonna let it ride. And then at 2:30 in the morning, I heard, I got up. I turned it off, turned it back on, turned it off, turned it back on, turned it off. Something's got to work here. I got to get this, something got to work. And then I smelled something burning. And I said, let me shut it down because I don't want to burn the house up. But I think I think it's just a blower. I don't think it's the air conditioner because that's the outside unit. Upstairs is the blower that circulates the air, and I think that's what it was. So right now I'm waiting on somebody to come help me out. Good thing we got the upstairs and we got the other side of the house where we can still stay cool. But man, it's hot, man. This drought is wreaking havoc on this situation right here, man. So I just can't wait till it get a little cooler here in Houston.
I hear you. I feel like every time we're in the winter months, I say, man, I can't wait to summer. And then we're in the summer months, I say, man, I can't wait to winter. It's just how it goes. Wait, so did you go through your we have a similar home warranty company.
Yeah.
Which shall remain nameless at this juncture in time.
Yeah, I went through them.
Okay.
But, I ain't mad at them because they just brought me a brand new stove, a brand new oven. They're working in the backyard. I got their ass. Look here. I got their asses working for that money.
Well, I got you.
Like I said, I got a brand new stove, brand new oven. You know what I mean? I'm waiting on the refrigerator to go out.
What? I do feel like I'm whenever they come out to look at something, I feel like I'm a personal injury lawyer because they say, oh, it looks like we could fix that with a part. It's like, are you sure?
Yeah,
are you sure your neck's not broken?
No,
You're sure it's just the back?
when they tell me that, we think we can fix that with a part, I go, no, they are discontinued.
Let me save you the trouble.
This thing is way too old
for
that, so yeah, they came out and put the new oven in, and it was free, but they had to do they had to cut an inch on one side and cut an inch on the other side and that was $250.
120, 100 and a quarter an inch.
And what's crazy is, man, I'm not exaggerating. I'm serious. We get that. We had to pay them, but we get that money back from that company that we don't want to mention their name.
Yeah.
But
They're not
yeah,
paying our
man,
bills.
like I say, man, I use the hell out of that company, man. So I ain't mad at them. They'll be out here tomorrow. They said, and they'll get me back up and running.
All right, good. Well, you know what? Speaking of a hot summer, it's going to be a hot summer this Saturday night at the Booker T World Gym Arena. The Summer of Champions
Yeah,
going down. You look like you have a comment about
Oh
something.
no, I do have a comment. I just want to thank the Friends with Rotary Club for pitching in to Booker T Fight for Kid Foundation, to help out a little bit, for reality of wrestling and being able to bring in guys, put them up in hotels and stuff and whatnot like that. Give these young guys and young girls a chance to live out that dream. I just want to thank the Friends with Rotary Club for helping out, man. That's what this thing's all about. I was telling a story today about just being young and being a kid. Me personally, I grew up without my father, and I didn't have that direction that I needed. I always wished that I had discipline. I always wished that I had, that kick in the butt. But I always wish I had that pat on the back too and said, man, you did a hell of a job, and that's what we are about, young people, and trying to, just trying to give them a half a chance at this thing called life. Because life is tough, man. Life is tough. We see all kind of crazy things going on. You can't even have a 4th of July parade without, some crazy happening in the United States these days. So just to give young people a half of a chance at making it in this life is something that I'm very passionate about. And like I said, I just want to thank those guys over there at the Friendswood Rotary Club for helping out.
Awesome. Yeah. Big shout out to the Friendswood Rotary Club. And again, they're going to be helping us out on this Saturday night live from the Booker T World Gym Arena. That's 10,000 M&F Lowry Expressway for our annual event. SummerSlam's the biggest party of the summer. So I'm going to say this is the biggest throwdown of the summer. I don't know what to say, but it's going to have the biggest match. I'm not even joking. This is the biggest match, I think, in reality of wrestling history. The 5-on-5 match to determine the winner of the rights to run reality of wrestling. Team Booker, which consists of Brian Keith, Gaspar Hernandez, the reality of wrestling champion, the Mysterious Q, the returning Blake Cortez from WWE NXT 2.0, and the 2-time Hall of Famer Booker T himself will be in the ring, taking on the team of Edge Stone, Will All Day, Ryan Davidson, Stephen Wolf, and Gino Medina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you haven't gotten your tickets, guys, I would say y'all out of luck because we sold out. But we just opened up some more tickets for you guys. So guys, go to realitywrestling.com and get your tickets, man, and come out and check it out. Booker T will be stepping back inside the square circle just one more time. I wouldn't call this my last ride or anything like that, but I will be stepping back inside the square circle to bring this thing home, man, to quarterback this team, man, to take us to victory. I'm talking about Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl, baby. That's what I'm talking about. We're winning come Saturday night. So come check out Team Booker Destroy Team Sharmell.
Well, here, there's some other big matches, though, going down. The NXT Women's Championship will be on the line. Camille is taking on Gigi Ray from Reality of Wrestling. Also in the women's action, the Reality Wrestling Diamonds Division Championship is up for grabs. The Renaissance Woman Hai Yun goes one-on-one against the longest reigning Diamonds champion in history, Rachel Rose. You'll also see a 6-man tag team match. La Familia is taking on Fly Def, and Les, the rapper Les, will be making his in-ring debut officially. Culture Inc. is in action, as well as a first of its kind at 7 o'clock. As soon as the clock strikes 7, we are kicking things off with our first ever King of the Summer Battle Royal that goes down to kick off Summer of Champions. So it's a hell of a card. and you don't want to miss out on Summer Champions 8.
You know, it's another group that's going to be a part of this thing. They called me from Las Vegas. They said they got a beef. They got a bone to pick with Culture Inc. And that group, the name of this group is Lights, Camera, Faction. So, guys, you don't want to miss out on this. I cannot wait to see exactly what's going on with that right there, because those guys, Culture Inc., they're next level. They're next level as far as tag team goes. And I got a chance to see Culture Inc. When I was there not too long ago, and these guys have been itching. I'm talking about itching to get a shot at Reality of Wrestling to show exactly what they're all about. And it's a 4-man group. It's not a 3-man group. It's a 4-man group. So we're gonna see exactly what Lights, Camera, Faction is all about.
All right, we'll see this Saturday, Summer Champions. If you're in the local area, do not miss it. You got to come out and see history made in front of your very eyes. Tickets are available now in limited quantities. It was a sellout. That's what I was coming on the air to announce today, Book. I was like, it's a sellout. Don't even worry about it. And then we open some more seats. Come on, man.
Bro, people trying to get in. People want to see, the 5-time champ get in one more time. One more bookend, one more spinneroonie, one more scissor kick. You won't be getting none of that, but you're gonna be getting something. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Because we'll all day. These two know each other so well. Power just one from Bolton. Look at that. And now De La Cruz sends Carter out with her. Look at that cartwheel. That athleticism by Roxy is what we know her for. She is the prodigy for a reason. She rolls through and now connects. And another. Look at this. There we go. Immediately, we talked about chaos. Top to go. Flies. With the Skull Splash. 2, 3.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. It's been a slow week. It's been a slow cycle as far as news goes in the world of sports and entertainment. But Brad, I know we got the super chatters out there. I know they're going to keep us alive, but I don't know if you've seen anything out there lately.
There's a few things I want to talk about. First, we're just talking about the reality of wrestling. So, of course, I'd be remiss not to mention that last night at NXT's The Great American Bash, Toxic Attraction lost the NXT Tag Team Championships to what they're calling Team 2001, which consists of Cora Jade and the now Roxanne Perez, but as reality wrestling fans know her as Roxy. Roxy went out there and captured reality wrestling championship, WWE championship gold, WWE championship gold. And it was a banner moment for her, and it's always great to see talent come from the row to the big stage, whether that's WWE or AEW, and win a championship. It was awesome. It was awesome for me too. Really awesome just to see the whole journey. Like I remember Roxy being 15 or whatever, coming to train, and now here she is, 20 years old, and she's WWE NXT Tag Team Champion.
Hey man, that's what we do at Reality Wrestling. We create stars. You said it. Roxanne came to us when she was a little bitty girl. She was dreamed of being the reality of wrestling champion. one day when she was a kid, So, and she went out and captured the Reality Wrestling Championship, the youngest Reality Wrestling Diamond champion in Reality Wrestling's history. And to see her doing so well in WWE, it seemed like she fits right in as far as being in that company and being so young. I remember when I don't want to get too far in it, but I remember when Roxanne was talking about, getting in WWE. I was like, this is one we really don't want to mess up. I say, because, we're watching, like Lita go in the Hall of Fame, 20 years after a career. This is Lita. Okay. Roxy is Lita 20 years from now going into the Hall of Fame. And I said, we cannot mess this one up. It's got to be right. And I appreciate everything WWE is doing with Roxanne, because she's a diamond, man, and she's a diamond. All she needs is to be in the right place, working with the right people, and the fans are going to gravitate to her because she has what we call in this business that it factor. And I just want to say I'm so proud of her, man, being so young and handling this situation the way she is.
It's a lot of responsibility being put on you to be a champion at such a young age, in the premier company for the industry in which you're in, right? I mean, this is the WWE. It doesn't get any bigger than this, right? And it shows me that Shawn Michaels and the powers that be down there in NXT see the same thing that you do and that we always did at the Reality of Wrestling. I even saw Roxy and Shawn Michaels striking the pose with the NXT Tag Team Championships. It was just awesome, I mean, it was just validation. I'm sure for her, she's on cloud 9 right now. And just much love out there to Roxanne Perez, aka Roxy.
What's crazy?
I remember. Go ahead.
What's crazy? She called me not too long ago, and she texted me not too long ago. I'm talking about like 2 weeks ago, and she was like, "When's the next film study?" Like, aren't you busy enough to be thinking about getting in on one of our film studies here? Don't you got enough work, down there in the PC? But it just goes to show me, man, that she's still thinking about, the work that she put in at Reality and Wrestling and what we tried to teach her. We always said, you got your tool bag, no matter what they teach you, you got your tool bag, and you can always pull out the right tools when need be. So I'm just, like I say, I'm just proud of her, man. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. It was just when I was watching the show last night and saw them get the dub, it kind of reminded me of when Ember Moon, when she won that NXT Women's Championship there in the Toyota Center, hometown, right, at War Games.
Yeah.
It was just one of those cool moments to see somebody who you saw backstage behind that pipe and drape come in to try to make something happen. And they make something happen. And I will tell you this. I think Reality Wrestling is the premier location. If you're a female pro wrestler out there, we have become the premier location for women's wrestlers. I don't know if you've noticed that, book, but every woman who comes through us, for some reason or another, they pick it up so quick. And whether that's my favorite independent wrestler right now in the world, which is Promise Braxton, whether that's Danny B, whether that's Gigi Ray, whether that's Rachel Rose, Hyan, Roxy, Kylie Ray. I mean, I could go on forever.
Yeah.
All the top women that we've gotten through our program at the Reality of Wrestling. So just shout out to Roxy and everybody, all the ladies and all the people at the row, because she's not going to be the last one you see on your television winning a big title. AQA. How could I forget AQA?
Yeah. And what's crazy is all those names, they started at Reality Wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, their inception to the business, I'm talking about infancy stages, was Reality of Wrestling. And that right there, it says a lot about what we're doing in our school and in our program. And to last 17 years in this business, it's saying a whole lot. So I must give myself a pat on the back. As far as no, I'm serious. I give myself a pat on the back for having a vision and sticking to it. And my vision was these young people, these young men, these young women, they're going to take Reality of Wrestling to the next level. And I banked on that. I banked on that with my own hard-earned money that we were going to make this thing work through young people and like yourself. And I tell you, man, we've done that. We've done a hell of a job. Give reality wrestling, give yourselves a pat on the back.
Yes, of course. The round of applause. You know, I mean, and just even some of the people, I don't know why I'm focused on some of the women wrestlers that we've had. Even some of the people just come in for a little while for like those 3, 6 month, 12-month runs, you know, whether that's Alex Gracia, whether that's Maddie Rinkowski, whether that's I mean, the list goes on. Oh, Kiera Hogan, right?
Yeah.
Kiera, I mean, she was there 6, 8 months to a year, coming down for the Ladies Night Out shows and the reality wrestling television tapings and stuff. And even to see her growth into now what she's doing with AEW. It's just awesome. It's just awesome for me to see. So salute to all the women. Salute to Roxanne Perez, NXT Tag Team Champion. And next week, Book, she goes one-on-one with Mandy Rose for the NXT Women's Championship. She could be double belted by this time next week.
Yeah, that right there, man. I don't even know what to say about it. But like I say, just keep representing reality wrestling by going out there and performing at the very highest level. And that's what we do. We strive on going out there and being the best. I know that's what I thought about in the locker room on a weekly basis. I did not think about being the best wrestler or anything like that. I thought about being the best in that locker room each and every week. And that means that's across the board. That's everything. Going out there, performing, that's storytelling, that's wrestling, that's promo, and that's everything. And right now, Roxy is definitely representing the reality of wrestling. And
I think that it's just NXT 2.0. Okay, yeah, it hasn't set the world on fire by any means. It is very different from the original NXT, but it's done its job, right? I mean, when you look at guys like a Braun Breaker, who's kind of legitimized himself in that realm as a next potential guy. If you look at what it's really done for the career of Mandy Rose has had the best run she's ever had. And if she didn't have that NXT playground to go to, because here's the thing too, this Mandy Rose and this Toxic Attraction does not work in black and gold NXT. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
It's not what the product was. This is her best run of her entire career. And she's been in that company for 6 or 7 years. This is the best run she's ever had. And it's because of that NXT 2.0 playground. It is by no means a perfect show. It is by no means a home run every week. But to say that it hasn't done its job by elevating talent and giving them a place to apply their craft and to learn and to become something next level, NXT next, right? To become the next star.
Yeah.
I mean, people got to stop hating on the show because it's working.
Nobody listens to me, man. Nobody listens to me. Because I don't know. I think if I recall, I remember me saying that I thought this is what NXT should have been the whole time. I did not think WWE competing against themselves with a show like NXT, having all of that hype and making those stars compete against SmackDown and Raw stars. I just didn't think that was a good idea. But to be able to create stars like a Mandy Rose, like a Roxanne, that right there, like a Braun Breaker, that right there, I think is what that feeder system should always be about. Having guys that's looking to get to the next level, not guys that's looking to stay there and become stars in NXT, because I just don't think that's the ultimate goal for the wrestler. The ultimate goal is to get on Raw, SmackDown. From there, we go to WrestleMania. That's what I think the ultimate goal is. So for me, having a system like this, I don't think if we had the NXT the way it was before, we wouldn't see Roxanne getting the push that she's getting right now, being so young and being at the top of the card. That wouldn't have happened. So for me, I feel like this is what NXT should have been, from the beginning. And right now, like you say, it may not be the hottest thing on the market or anything like that, but I don't think it's built to be the hottest thing on the market, but it's got its own niche. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, along with my man Brad Gilmore. We're just doing the roundup report. Everything sports entertainment. What you got, man?
Well, we're just talking about Roxanne Perez, of course, winning that big championship, and we're going to get to all your super chats here, probably in the next segment. But I wanted to talk about this for a second. Money in the Bank was a great show.
And right now, they're touting how successful Money in the Bank was. Who I'm talking about, WWE is touting how successful this show. It was off the chains. It was a great show.
Yeah, I mean, they said it was the most viewed Money in the Bank in history. I mean, they sold 12,000 tickets to the MGM Grand when they had to move stadiums for whatever the reason was. I don't know, because they lost some talent, so they had to go to a smaller show. But they said that merchandise increased 95% from the year prior at Money in the Bank. Don't know what the reason is for that, but that's a whole hell of a lot of long green ducats.
It's a win, dog.
That's a win.
That's a win.
I thought it was a great show from top to bottom. Now, there were some people, when we talk about the Money in the Bank women's ladder match,
Shotzi,
who didn't love the performance of Shotzi, formerly known as Shotzi Blackheart, of course, who came through the doors of reality wrestling once upon a time, who you spent some time with in Tough Enough, I remember. We had a Shotzi on this show back in person a few years ago.
Yeah.
And she had some points in the match that weren't the cleanest in the world, right? But there's no such thing as a machine. And she had a couple of blown spots, or whatever you want to call it. And the people on social media did not relent in letting her know that she screwed up. She posted a statement on the 4th of July saying, hey, guys, everybody screws up sometimes. Like, match was still good, right? And she got even more backlash after that. So much so that she deactivated and then deleted her Twitter account. And she actually issued a statement today on her Instagram saying, I appreciate everyone checking on me, but I swear I'm fine. I've been going through the toughest year of my personal life, so it's deeper than nasty comments, but also Twitter has not helped me with my already fragile mind state. Just trying to stay motivated and positive. I am focused on my goals and not what's on the internet. But obviously, social media made a bad situation worse, like it's known to do. This isn't something that you had to deal with, Book, when you were actively competing, but it's something you've dealt with, I think, in recent years, having comments online that set people ablaze just a couple weeks ago, right? With Adam Cole, that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
What do you feel about this situation with Shotzi, and what's your advice to her?
Well, as far as the people that's making the comments, of course they could do it a whole lot better than she could. First of all of them, they could do it better. I mean, they're superstars. Of course they could do it better than she could. Wrestling is it's a dance, man, and sometimes you just might be off step. Sometimes you might not be, just may not be feeling it. I talked to my young wrestlers that's getting into the business, and I always talk to them. I say wrestling is It's like acting. It's like Hollywood, but it's a little bit different. I say in Hollywood, you doing your scene, and you fluff a line, and the director say, "Cut. Let's redo that." You start over, you fluff the line, and the director say, "Cut. Redo that again." And I don't care if you do it 100 times to get it right. All right. And they may make you do it 100 times just because they're looking for something, that you may not be giving them. It's different in professional wrestling. You have one take to go out there and get it right. You got one shot to go out there and get it right every time. And people on the internet, they don't know how difficult that is. They don't realize how hard that really, honestly, truly is. So they're going to make their comments. But my advice to Shotzi is you get right back up on the horse. You cannot let the internet world distract you from going out there and being you. Mistakes are something that's always made. I think we've talked about it as far as me forgetting spots. Where are we? That's just part of the business. So for me, I would tell Shotzi, do not let the haters get in your head, because the wrestling business is all about mistakes, and hopefully I'm learning from them.
Yeah, it sucks that people are like that, and I don't know why. It's like you don't think that she knows she messed up on something. Like, I know when I screw something up, I know that I did it
Immediately.
I don't need 1,000 people telling me, "Hey, do you know?" Like, even Twitter's like that no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, like the other day, I tweeted out about the movie Back to the Future, right? And I said, "Oh, it's the 35th anniversary of the movie." Now, it was a typo. I meant to say 37th. But before I could correct the tweet, I had everybody saying, "Don't you mean 37th?
Oh,
Don't you mean 37th?"
Yeah.
Including the Back to the Future Twitter account came after me. And it's like, hey, guys, I realized I did it. I didn't have time to correct it, okay? But going back to Shotzi, it's like she knows. Look, anybody could tell, like, there was a couple things that messed up. But again, this isn't ballet. Like you said, this isn't a movie. I've seen it right in front of my eyes. People go out in the ring and there's one plan or there's one strategy and it goes awry. You're not going to knock it out of the park every time. And even though you're a professional, doesn't mean you're without sin. Doesn't mean you're without incidents, right?
Yeah.
You're a professional athlete, Book. But even when you did the Harlem Hangover, you hit some guys in the face with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're careless. It doesn't mean that you're sloppy. It doesn't mean that you're any less of a professional wrestler. It means, hey, I messed up.
I made a mistake.
It happens. So why people on the internet feel like they got to go after her and tell her, you screwed it up? It's like, did you get what you wanted out of the match at the end? Because I saw the whole internet wanted Liv Morgan to win. Liv Morgan won. All right. So even if the road was bumpy on the way there, you still got to your destination.
Yeah.
Why you got to take a second to hate? I don't understand.
It's just the way the world is, man. It's just the way the world is. I mean, we're in a different world now.
X-Pac said it best.
And what's that?
X-Pac said you could give wrestling fans $1 million and then they tell you they were mad it wasn't in ones.
That's true. That's true. That's just the way the business is, man. It's what the life we're living in now, the social media world. You just got to have thick skin, to be able to live in this world today if you plan on being on social media. And most young people, that's where they go. That's where they live, on social media. They're looking for, that stamp of approval from their Twitter followers. Just think about this for a second. Just think about this for 1 second. And that's why I say Shotzi got to, totally rise above this. Just think about this for 1 second. If all of those people was giving her the negative, was saying, man, you did great, even though she didn't do so great, you think she would be deleting herself from Twitter?
No.
Not at all. So what I'm saying is Shotzi is the one who's going to have to rise above this. And then there again, think just like I was just talking about a second ago, this is not Hollywood. You get one shot to go out there and screw it up. So we don't think about anything that we got to think about when we're in the middle of that ring. That's what I teach my students all the time. You don't do anything that you got to think about. If you can't wake up literally out of the middle of a sleep and go out there and perform it, you don't need to be thinking about doing it. And that's my advice to someone like Shotzi, because I know she's I've been around her. I've worked with her on Tough Enough. She's a go-getter, man. She's willing to try or do anything in that ring because she's a go-getter. She wants to be the best. She wants to be good at what she's doing. So I get it. I understand it. But there again, take a step back before you can take a step forward.
You're never as good as they say you are, and you're never as bad as they say you are, right?
Yes.
I mean, you're somewhere in the middle. It is hard though, Book, and I don't know if you've experienced it, you know, with being now such a focal point of wrestling Twitter, as we say, but you know, when there's a negative comment, one negative comment is worth 1,000 great ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as soon as you see that negative comment, that's all you can focus on. It's hard, like as a human not to. Like, I don't know if when I was in school, if I heard somebody didn't like me, you're like, wait, they don't like me. Why don't they like me? What did I do? It's all you can think about. It's not
not me. It's
Not
not
you.
all. It's not all I think about.
and well, it's not all I think about, but I'm like, I wonder why that person doesn't like me, right? I mean, you don't focus on the 100 friends in the cafeteria that you have.
Yeah,
You
totally.
focus on the one guy who doesn't like you or the one girl who doesn't like you.
Yeah.
And so that's just how we are as humans. So I get it from Shotzi. I think we've all been there with the social media world. It's hard to turn off. And sometimes you just got to delete that thing. I read though, there was an article that said you should delete social media apps off your phone for 1 week every month. So just for that 1 week, all the social media is off your phone, right? And then you can go back the next week and re-add it, but just take a mental vacay.
Let me tell you something, man. I don't need to take it off for a week. Okay. I ain't gonna be messing around on there enough to be thinking about. I don't wake up in the morning and look at my phone and click that Twitter app. I don't do that.
Right.
I don't go to sleep at night telling the world good night. To hell with everybody. If they want to go to sleep, they can. If they don't, they can stay up all night. I don't care. But I'm not the type to sit around thinking about telling people, good morning, what kind of coffee you drinking this morning. I ain't got time for that, man. I swear, man. It just, when people get to that level right there, and that's what they're thinking about, they're totally losing their grip on reality and what makes the world go around. And that's that green dollar bill, getting that paper, taking care of the fam, making sure the mortgage payments are all up to date and whatnot. That's the real life right there. And I think that's what I focus on more than anything. I like Twitter. I like the Instagram, whatnot. Especially, I hope Sharmell not listening to this, but I'm gonna tell you right now, on Twitter, they got everything on there. Man, I'm getting pictures from. I'm like, man, don't be following me, sending me this. It's crazy. God damn, man. So I like to look at it every now and then. But you got to stay away from that stuff, man, because you can get caught up real big time. I'm serious.
I think we should take a break.
Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. You're worth it.
Walker Texas Ranger handles the bad guys with a roundhouse kick. I'm Jim Walker, Walker Texas lawyer. I handle the insurance companies with a roundhouse kick to the wallet. If you've been injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, give me a call at 713-552-1117 or visit my website at walkertexaslawyer.com. You'll be glad you did. Why would you call anyone else?
Can you dig it, sucker? Well, I just got a message that Sharmell is listening.
Well, we got one here too. Let me look at your Twitter real quick.
Yeah, my phone downstairs. All she got to do is pick it up and look at it. I ain't got no block on my phone. I ain't got nothing to hide. I'm just saying how the world is right now, man. I got a message, from this one girl like last week, and it was on Twitter, and it said, Booker T, I'm a big fan, whatnot, So I clicked on it, and it was a porn, straight up porn. You know what I mean? She had her own fans only, only fans, whatever. And I was like, man, this is nuts. And if I was weak, okay, if I was a weak man, I probably would have been trying to figure out how I could, get in touch with. I'm serious, so that is not the real world. You know what I mean? It's not. It's make believe. And for me, just to not get caught up in it, man, I love it. I love not being somebody that don't live with that Twitter finger. I'm serious.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter definitely can get you in a unenviable position, as we say. It is crazy what's on there. But you know what?
I didn't know. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, up until not too long ago, I didn't know all of that kind of stuff. I didn't know they could put porn on Twitter.
I think I don't really know that either. I think that they get sometimes, no pun intended, but fast and loose with the rules on Twitter. Because sometimes like stuff gets blocked. I know Instagram's a little bit more, I don't want to say family friendly because that's definitely not true. But they will take you down on Instagram a little bit quicker than they do on Twitter. But just think, I don't know what the stat is, but there's got to be millions of tweets that go out every day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how can you police all that?
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's like I say, you can get caught up in that Twitter world just like this. Catfishing, making people think that it's somebody and it's totally someone else. I was looking at the basketball player. I don't know if you saw that story. Remember the basketball player Birdman?
Of course, yeah.
You know how he everything came down on him, right? You know why he's not playing in the NBA anymore,
I
right?
don't know that. No,
Because somebody catfished him. All right, and the person that catfished him set him up with this chick. All right, and date went through and whatnot, and then the catfish person started calling him saying that they needed a certain amount of money from him because this girl that he was messing with was 16 years old. Okay. The girl actually wasn't 16. It was a big hoax, but his career is over with because of that scandal.
Mm.
So that stuff is real, man. And there again, he got caught up. Wanting to hook up with a young chick. And everything went down. Everything was fine and gravy, but it was a hoax. The girl who was dating him, the catfish person was getting with her as him. So it was crazy. They was talking to each other and didn't even know they was talking to each other. It was crazy, that they wasn't even talking to each other. It's nuts, this world that we live in. So you got to be extra careful. Facebook, man, I've never had Facebook. I don't need no old girlfriends thinking they can find me. How you doing? I'm doing fine. I'm married and I got 2 kids. Okay. That's how I'm doing. Good night. But if you're weak, old girlfriend get in touch with you, and you think the flame just got rekindled.
Well, just be careful on social, and especially if your wife watches your radio show. Let's get this some super chats. This from Jason Marone, who says, "I need you to help me." Who are some of your favorite instrumentalists? Check out guitarist Peter White and saxophonist Jesse J. They're wonderful. Aren't you a Kenny G fan? Or did I make that up?
No, you didn't make that up. I'm a huge Kenny G fan. But me personally, man, I'm like a Joe Walsh fan. Joe Walsh, man, he get into that guitar, bro. He gets deep into that guitar, man. I'm a music connoisseur. I love music. But as far as just instrumentalists go, man, so it's a hard one right off the top. But like I said, Kenny G is a guy that's from a jazz perspective, always been in the head. But Joe Walsh from a guitar perspective, I'm a horn type of guy too, trumpet, cornet. But I can't say it's not just I just can't say one because I love music. I love all music.
Yeah.
I was just listening to, I was on the golf course and I was listening to the greatest hits from Steely Dan. And I roll up in the golf cart and I'm getting ready to, lead the course, and got the music playing, and he was playing some Deacon Blues, was playing Deacon Blues, and guy, he said, "Hey man, I just want to let you know that's my favorite song, man." I said, well, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? But I just love music, seriously.
Yeah, so appreciate that one, Jason. We got another one in from our man Cali Toenail, who says, so the rumor is Ronda Rousey demanded to lose the title because Liv Morgan is the most passionate. Does that sound right? If I'm a champ and getting the big bucks, am I going to demand to give it up to someone? I think not. What do you think about that, Book? I haven't heard that. I haven't read that.
I haven't read it either, but I'm going to tell you right now, if that's true, I commend Ronda Rousey. I really do. I'm going to step up for Ronda Rousey. If she was that unselfish to do something like that, it just goes to show how big she is, as well as how big of a team player she is, to want to bring someone like Liv Morgan up, because she knows she's already, in a position. She's made already. But to say, hey, man, let's make Liv Morgan tonight, and I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to sacrifice for that. I can't do nothing but give Ronda Rousey a pat on the back for, there again, knowing what the business, even though I give Ronda Rousey a lot of flack sometimes for some of the stuff that she say, it pisses me off. But if Ronda Rousey, like I say, is unselfish enough to do something like that, it lets me know that, she's smarter than, perhaps one may think.
Yeah, I haven't read that, but big ups to her. I see what he's saying, though. It's like, do I give up my spot?
Well, I say that because in reality wrestling, we had one kid, his name is Gustavo Mendoza, but he had the reality wrestling championship for a year. He wasn't the best wrestler, but man, he was smarter than everybody that I had in that locker room. And then one day he came and said, hey man, I think we need to drop the strap on I can't remember who it was, but he wanted to drop.
He lost to the Pride.
Might have been. I can't remember who it was, but he said, man, I think we need to take the strap off me and put it on him, to bring him. And I was like, wow, you know what I mean? For someone to be that unselfish in this business, it's a rarity, you know what I mean? Because when you on top in this business, you want to hang on to it forever. But there again, Ronda Rousey's made. I don't think this business is going to make her any bigger than she already is. I could be wrong, but for her to do something like that, if she did that, man, big up for Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, big ups to her. I think, though, like you said, this business has been about longevity, and had she not wanted to do that, I actually wouldn't fault her either. You know what I mean? Like, I know Hogan gets a lot of flack for apparently like protecting his spot, right? But at the end of the day, I'm not mad about that. Like,
well, I disagree. Why? Because
you get into the business to be the biggest star you can and make the most money.
Yeah, I understand that, but when you at the top already, when you're already made, and someone you have a chance to bring somebody else up, and you don't do it, it just shows your character. Hulk Hogan had a chance to set back when it was my turn to win the title, but he didn't. He wanted to take that moment and bask in that glory after he's been to that mountaintop so many times. Yeah, one can resent that. So I disagree.
But no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying not make somebody. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
what you're saying is if she didn't want to do that and she wanted to, go on and hold on to the title that night, I get it. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't have blamed her.
I wouldn't have blamed her or anything like that, but I just look at her in a totally different way by her saying, "Hey, I'm made already. Let's make somebody else." It's just like, just say for instance, right now we got, the PGA and we got this new Live golf tour.
Right.
And then you got a guy like Rory McIlroy saying, "Hey man, I don't think these guys should be going over there to the Live golf tour." Well, a lot of these guys ain't got a big, multi-million-dollar Nike contract, like you do. You know what I mean? Most of these guys aren't winning golf tournaments and got a huge bank, like you do. You know what I mean? So the discussion there is, should these guys, go and take the money? Yeah, if it's there, I'm going to go and take it. Understandably, you know what I mean? That's what you should do. But, that doesn't mean, you look at the, look at it any differently, from a perspective, So I'm kind of lost in my translation.
No. I see what you're saying. I don't. I see what you're saying. But in the same token, again, I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing to look out for your spot at times.
Your self-interest.
My self-interest, yeah, but my livelihood.
Yeah, your spot, your self-interest.
Right, sure. It's not always a bad thing.
Like I said, I get that. I understand it, but you cannot, you can't blame Ronda Rousey for saying, "Hey man, I'm there already. Let's bring Liv Morgan up." Liv is working her ass off. I mean,
totally agree.
That right there for me, it makes me look at Ronda differently from a perspective to where I say she's not looking at herself as just a wrestler. She's thinking about the promotion. Okay. And that right there for me, in this Live thing, a lot of guys aren't thinking about the promotion. They're thinking about themselves, and they got the right to that because, everybody want to get paid at the end of the day. But I don't think there's any blame to go around, either way as far as Ronda goes. But like I say, if she wanted to, go out there and win, okay, I get that. But for her to say, "Hey, let's make somebody," I think that right there gives Ronda Rousey so much more credibility in that locker room than she's ever had winning any match that she's ever going to win.
Hey, I don't disagree with you at all. I think we're probably speaking from two sides of the same coin. We do have to take a break. So
stick around, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
For a couple of years, and for me, I could not take that experience back for anything. I mean, learning how to wrestle in front of 6 people and trying to draw emotion out of people who maybe just by happenstance came across the show, but to work with conditions where the ropes some are too tight, some are too loose, some of the rings had big dips in it, trying not to trip over the canvas, and just having that experience of working in all these different, every ring was different at every indie show that I did, and so to know that I have to put on a good show regardless of the circumstances, even if the ring doesn't show up and I have to wrestle on a gymnasium floor, hoping for the best, it really helped shape my ability to be able to think on the fly and made me who I am today.
What's up? This Booker T, 2-time Hall of Famer. I know you're checking out the shine, checking out the gloss. I want to thank you guys for checking out Row on YouTube. Hey, don't forget to click and subscribe to check out all the latest content right here each and every week. Now, can you dig that, sucker? Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me as always, and we're just doing the weekly roundup, everything sports and entertainment. Brad, what do we got, man? What do we got on the?
We're going to go to a bunch of super chats that have come in, so we're going to answer all these probably for the rest of the show. Brooklyn Bryan says Saraya has a great article in the Players Tribune Yeah, that's Paige's real name. Paige put up an article today. There was a goodbye to WWE. I think it went up about an hour or two before we started, so I haven't gotten a chance to read through it thoroughly, but she apparently had a good goodbye.
Yeah, she said goodbye to Paige. Saraya said goodbye to, I guess, the character Paige. And the thing is, she had a hell of a run as Paige. I thought that gimmick was over. I think being out there right now, she's going to be able to still do her thing, and perhaps I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Paige back in the WWE. I wouldn't be surprised if circumstances work out properly for her, especially getting back out there and getting back in the ring and proving that she can still do this thing from a safe perspective. Let's just say that. I hated when Paige had to be sidelined, and because she was different. She was so unique, and you don't find that every day in this business. So for me, seeing Paige leave the WWE, I think it's just going to open up more doors for her. And like I say, I'm not going to be surprised if I see Paige back in the WWE within the next 12 months.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked either because she's so beloved by the audience, and I wouldn't be shocked if I saw her go over to AEW and do something. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised at all. And the thing is, I said AEW might be a good fit for her, from a perspective. I don't think the hardcore matches and the blood and guts matches are gonna fit Paige's style of working or anything like that. But I do think it's a paycheck over there for her to go and pick up.
yeah, absolutely.
And that's what it's all about, baby. It's about checks and championships. And one is just as good as the other.
One might be better.
Exactly.
Ezekiel Miller says, how was it working with Goldust? Was it fun?
Goldie, man, that was one of a kind period in my career. Goldie and I we're good friends too. Go back to WCW. As well as Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, as well as Cody. Got a lot of love for the family. So working with Goldie, man, it was a night off. Being able to come out and just create. And we used to question all the time, man, we get paid for this. They pay us for this. You kidding me? It was one of the best times of my career, man. And I couldn't have had a better partner than Dustin Rhodes.
Well, there you go. I mean, y'all had some great, just memorable moments, and we had Goldust on the show when we were there live in where was that? Los Angeles.
Yeah,
and just real awesome guy, and continues to do great work. Still going.
Yeah, man, I swear, man, he's still pushing himself, man. He still go out and perform at a very high level. You would not think he's in his 50s by the way he goes out and perform. I wish I could perform at that level, still to this day. So I give Goldie a lot of credit for passing it on, hopefully teaching those young guys over there in AEW that, you can have a hell of a career, if you do this thing right.
Absolutely. P. Sirius says, and we talked about this on Monday, what do you think about LA Knight's new modeling agency gimmick? I think you said it could work, but
Yeah,
a little bit.
I like it. It's you got to be different. This business is character driven. It really is. No matter what, I don't think you can just have a wrestling show and people be excited about watching guys go out and just do that. Being able to bring something interesting like the Maximum male models. Hey man, women love to see men, dressed a certain way, or baby all on, pectoral muscles flexing, you know what I mean? The quadriceps popping. Women love that stuff, man. Whether you realize it or not. I mean, I wore the shortest tights I possibly could find. I'm serious. I swear, you'd have thought I was part of the Maximum male models. Because, man, I say, man, you got to give women something to look at. You know what I mean? Because they want to get with you. You know, so my thing was,
Booker T OnlyFans coming this fall, by the way. No wonder you get all these things on your Twitter account.
no, I'm serious, man. So you got to know how to cater to the women, man, in this business. So big props to the Maximum Male Models, and hopefully, Mace can, make that thing work, because in this business, until you find it, you're gonna be looking for it.
Well, I always think about Kane, right? Glenn Jacobs was a dentist. He was a Christmas creature. He was the fake Diesel.
Yeah.
If like that was happening today, right, in 2022, and Kane came out or Glenn Jacobs came out as the dentist, right? And then he came out as, let's say, the fake Brock Lesnar, right? And then he comes out as a Christmas creature. We'd say this guy's career is dead
It would be. It would be.
on arrival. And but then he found Kane. And look at that. One of the great runs in the history of WWE.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
Like I say, man, until you find it, you're gonna be looking for it, and that's what the Maximum Male Models, I think, is all about. We're trying to find something, and we're trying to get the people excited. We're trying to get the people going. You know what I mean? That's what we're trying to do. It's provocative. That's what that thing is all about. And I think that's where the wrestling business is different. That's why we're not MMA. That's why we're not boxing. We're to be embellished, to create however we want. And I just want to see hopefully Brennan do well, Mace do well in the business.
Yeah, I mean, I said this on the last show. I don't love the idea. I don't love the gimmick, but it's just starting, right? Just starting. You know what? I didn't like the Wyatt family. I was like, what is this? This guy looks like a hillbilly in a Hawaiian shirt, in a straw hat, right? And then I understood it, and you gave him time to figure out who they were as a group in a unit, and it ended up working for me. So I'm out right now, but I'm not saying that with any strong conviction that that's how I'm going to stay. Right? I know that my mind can be changed, especially in this industry.
Yeah.
Allison Tuckwab with the $20. We appreciate that. Is that true that Vince McMahon is in trouble with legal issues and his coworkers working behind the scenes with him? I heard that from another talk show. I think it was Wesley Inc. Well, of course, they're talking about the Wall Street Journal article. Vince stepped away as the CEO while investigations are going on. His attorney says that monies were allocated in the proper fashion and that no WWE money was used. But yeah, I mean, that is true, right, Book? It's true.
It's 100% true. There's a lot going on right now in the company, and stuff well above my pay grade. So I have no knowledge on any of it or anything like that. Hopefully the storm will blow over and things will continue. Hopefully we can get past this. It's just one of those things, man. In business, you got to cross these bumps in the road, and and one thing about stuff like this too, you got to figure out how to not make this kind of stuff happen. So people out there, for me, I talk about it all the time in Reality of Wrestling, things done a certain way, to try to find myself not making headlines ever. I'm serious, because that's one thing about the business. I was talking to a guy today, but he goes, "Man, what you live in?" I go, "I live in Friendswood." He goes, "How long you been living in Friendswood?" I say, 20 years. He goes, "Man, I've been living in Friendswood for over 20 years too. I never knew you lived in Friendswood." I said, "Because you've never seen me on the news." In a police car, locked up. If you did, you would know I lived in Friendswood.
There you go.
So gotta try to stay low, man.
I mean, and the thing with Vince, the two things that stick out to me is, one, he doesn't seem to be all that bothered. He's going to the UFC shows. He's out on television. I don't know if that's just a public front. But here's the other thing. I just want to know if you were in on this, because I know a lot of the times the TV crew is different from the locker room, right? You're working on the pre-show, and then there's the locker room. I heard Stephanie was there, and she gave like a big pep talk to the entire staff at Money in the Bank. Were you involved with that, or did that happen?
No, I mean, I wasn't involved with it.
Okay.
I got there late, and I went straight to the table. And so I didn't hear it. And the thing is, I wouldn't be surprised, if she gave everybody a pep talk and gave everybody, the spiel as far as, man, we, full steam ahead. The show must go on. It's time for us to be better. I can see that. It's time, to step up. So I can see that. That's what good leaders do. And one thing I could say about Stephanie is, she's been a leader, for quite some time in that company. I've been around Stephanie for a long time, and she has been prepping for this position. So I think the company is in good hands.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think Vince is always, though, when he has some sort of public controversy like this, or back in the day with the trial, right back in the day, he always puts on a brave face and soldiers on. And so, whether you think that's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, he's not hiding from anything.
I think that's what you got to do, man. I mean, you can't hide, you can't run, you can't hide. I mean, you got to deal with the situation and move forward. I think that's what life is truly all about, because you're going to get, dealt blows that you have no choice other than to deal with it. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. You're worth it.
For 13 years, the King of Solar Screens has been an industry leader, and we proudly use 100% American-made products. Home of the $55 any size, any color solar screen.
Well, what about arches?
$55.
What about circles?
$55.
What about rectangles?
$55.
Any size, any color, installed free. The King of Solar Screens, on time, every time.
Now, can you dig that, sucker? Can you dig it, sucker? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We just moseying along, talking everything sports and entertainment here on ESPN 97.5, 92.5, guys. This is not just a podcast, okay? This is radio. All right, I just want to make sure we, give props. But what do we got, Brad? Whoa.
We got some more super chats. This is from Dion Moore, longtime watcher, first time super chatter. Let's
Appreciate
give
you.
an applause for Dion. I gotta know, Book, how do you and other wrestlers from your generation feel about Dave Meltzer? I don't care for him at all. Love the show, suckers. Respect.
Very controversial, Dave Meltzer. I've had my run-ins with Dave Meltzer, and I could say this publicly. I wouldn't say I don't get along with Dave Meltzer or anything like that, but I don't agree with a lot of Dave Meltzer's takes. All right, I remember being a young wrestler coming up, and Dave Meltzer actually wrote some really good stuff about me when I was coming up. I could say that. So, but now he seems like he's, I don't know, maybe just looking for hot takes, maybe just looking for, things to get the internet buzzing. So I'm not going to be sitting down and breaking bread with Dave Meltzer anytime soon. I can say that.
Well, I can say there's been a host of things that he said over the years that have proven to be categorically false. And a lot of them that he reports as fact end up not coming to fruition. Now, here's the thing.
Well, he said my brother shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. He said Torrey Wilson shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Certain things like that, when you have paid no dues inside the ring, paid dues from the outside, writing about it and talking about it, but when you've never done it, it's like right now Stephen A. Smith getting a whole lot of flack because he's talking about these basketball players and he's never played the game. And if you've never played the game, you might want to, have some reserve the way you talk about the guys that do play the game.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel that. I think that with Dave, he is not the best messenger, and I don't know why people subscribe to his opinions so vehemently. And if you listen to him, he definitely has a agenda. I don't
Well,
want to give him too much time.
let
I
me-
don't want to give him too much time, but this guy said the word mark, the word that you say in wrestling if somebody's acting, like too much of a fan or whatever, or a fan of themselves, you call them a mark. He said that that's the same level. If you call someone a mark, it's like using the N-word. And when I saw him say that, I understood that nothing this man says is based in any sort of reality.
Look, you got to understand, Dave Meltzer, the world that he come from, the world that I come from, those are two different worlds. Okay. It's hard for someone like Dave Meltzer to see someone like me do anything good. I get it. I understand. We're from two totally different worlds. But Dave Meltzer, I give him credit as far as, opening the eyes, to the wrestlers back in the day, from the dirt sheets, because a lot of guys used to really look at the dirt sheets and draw a lot of self-confidence from the dirt sheet because, something was being, something good was being said about them. Like, man, this guy got a lot of potential. I feel like this guy should be the rookie of the year, man. This guy had such an awesome match. So those kind of words can influence you and make you feel a certain way. And Dave Meltzer was literally like the first to do something like that. So yeah, I give him a lot of credit for that, but I just feel like along the route, you know what I mean?
He's gotten off course.
Yeah.
Look, you can't doubt that the Wrestling Observer newsletter isn't something that people know about. And he's built a business for himself, and he's lived a successful life, I'm sure, there in California. And, even my worst of enemies or people I don't like, I wish them nothing but success and good health, right? But at the end of the day, he just says a lot of things that I happen to disagree with. And sometimes I think he takes it to a personal level, and he has a personal agenda. And that's fact. And the thing is, there's so many websites and guys out there now who actually do it the right way. When Ryan Satin was running his website, he did it the right way. Sean Ross Sapp, SE Scoops, Sports Kita, right? There are a lot of websites who actually report things that are accurate, and they source it.
Sports Kita.
Sports Kita.
I'm just playing. Yeah.
They source it. So, to me, if you're just going off what some guy tells you, I think there was some issue there a few months ago where Dave Meltzer was given false information purposefully by a WWE employee and then ran with it, right? And to me, you gotta dot your I's and cross your T's if you're going to come off as a journalist. Now, I don't report the news. We talk about the news, right? But we don't report the news. We commentate on it from a journalistic perspective, but I'm not trying to break news on here. And if I'm going to break a story, you best believe I'm going to call 7 or 8, 10 people, try to confirm this thing, and not let one guy tell me the reason why WWE didn't hire him and then believe him.
Yeah. So like I say, man, I'm not going to, try to bury him or anything like that, just because that's just not what I do. I rise above. That's just not who I am. But as far as, Dave Meltzer go, I don't hold him, in very high esteem. Let's just say that.
Totally agree. This from Allison Tuckwab, who says, so this was in continuation of her question earlier about Vince, which we already addressed, and his daughter took over the CEO position. Yes, Stephanie is the interim CEO currently with the WWE. So we'll move on to Callie Toenail says Raquel Rodriguez was my pick. She had the match won like 3 times, but procrastinated. You think she should have pulled the trigger and taken it? Hashtag Raquel's run. Raquel Rodriguez, though, has so much upside and so young in her career, right?
That's it right there. I mean, she's got plenty of time. And the thing is, you don't just want to shove someone down somebody's throat or anything like that. Raquel is got a lot of potential. In the right place at the right time, she's going to be a star. I see money. But there again, I'm not mad that she didn't win. I'm not mad at that at all. Just because I know she's got so much time left, and the future for her is so freaking bright. So I don't see any loss as far as that goes.
Yeah. I think that Raquel Rodriguez has been put in a really good position, and she's one who I see like she could actually be something. You know what I mean? Like she got a lot of boxes checked, and she's just new right now. It's not her time.
But no, she's got a little ways to go.
Yeah,
she's got a couple of things that she got to work on before she have that confidence to know that she is, top billing in the WWE. And I tell you, being in that situation, just like say, for instance, putting the title on her, it's a pressure cooker for somebody that is new on the roster, and now they got to be the one that's running the ship. It's not easy at all. So for me, her not being in that position, I think is a good thing, more so than it is a bad thing.
All right, let's take the next one here. This is from Brooklyn Brian, who says, Bully Ray and Russo talking trash about Liv. Stop it.
Well, I can only wonder what they was talking about.
I saw what Bully said.
Tell me what he said.
Bully just said that in her promo last night, you could tell this is what he said. You could tell she was, I'm paraphrasing, she was trying to remember dialogue, and she looked like she was playing the part of a pro wrestler rather than being a pro wrestler.
I don't know what that means. There again, I can tell you,
I'll pull up the quote.
Being in that situation, winning the belt, and then having to go out and cut a promo for someone who is not used to being in that situation on a regular basis. Damn it, it's the hardest thing you could ever imagine. And I'm saying that from experience. When I won the world title, I had to go out on Monday night, the following night, and I had to cut a promo, and I was scared as hell. My butt was so freaking tight. You know what I mean? I was like, what the heck is going on here? How did this happen? And then you got to try to find the courage to go out there and find your way through it. And it's not easy. So I can't, I can't understand, Bully Ray or, Vince Russo, for that matter, not understanding, what position Liv Morgan was in. I'm not gonna bury her the first night after she win the title. And people, I don't know, people are looking to bury somebody. People are always looking to, chop somebody down, opposed to trying to bring them up. It just never ceased to amaze me.
Yeah, here's the actual quote. He said, I didn't think it was a strong promo from her, but I will say this, the people were behind her, at least at first, but then they started to trail off a bit. I believe that she was trying to memorize a promo last night. They're never going to hand Liv Morgan a microphone and say, here's 5 minutes, go say whatever the hell you want to say. Unfortunately, when I hear Liv talk last night, I feel like I'm watching somebody who's playing a pro wrestler as opposed to being a pro wrestler. That was his exact quote. I just wanted to.
You know what? I understand where he's coming from. And it's a lot of that, in the business today where, you've heard me say it, I don't know, maybe 1,000 times or more about guys playing wrestler.
I've heard it 1,000,000 times. But
Exactly.
the one thing I want to say about Bully, though, is, look, the system in which you and Bully were brought up in, right? That was what you were expected to do. Hey, Book, we need you to go cut a 3-minute promo. All right, what do you want me to say? You got a match with Jarrett tonight. Talk about it, right? Okay, got it, right? But in this era, Liv come up through the WWE system. And their system is, here's your promo. Memorize it and deliver it.
Look here, I get that. I understand that. It seemed like Bully would know that as well. And that's what I'm talking about. I understand where he's coming from. But like I just said earlier, we're in a different world now, and that means everything from rap music to professional wrestling to TV shows. TV shows nowadays, man. You see the whole cast, look 18 years old, and somebody and the one guy's a general in the Army. Stick around, you're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
My name is Dan Miller, and I'm trained to be a professional wrestler here at Reality of Wrestling. Professional wrestling has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. Growing up, I would have the toys, I would have matches with stuffed animals, I had a little paper championship. I always had that voice in the back of my head saying, can you do this? Can you really be a pro wrestler? And one day that voice got so loud, I just had to know. So I did my research, and I found that Reality of Wrestling is the best training ground in the whole country. You could sit down and turn on the TV every night of the week to watch pro wrestling, and you'll see someone who got their start in this ring. Reality of Wrestling teaches you everything you need to know about the business, from putting together the ring to putting together a TV show. This is a place where you can come and work on your fundamentals, work on your body, work on your interview skills. This is a one-stop shop for everything pro wrestling. If you have that voice in the back of your head, now is the time to find out if you have what it takes here at Reality of Wrestling.
Can you dig it, sucker? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Getting ready to wrap this thing up in a bit. But look here, guys. We're just talking about everything, sports and entertainment. Just talking about how things are so different today. I mean, you know, we're just talking about music. And I love putting on some Phil Collins, you know, just, you know, make me feel a certain way. And I remember, you know, coming up and watching, you know, like singers, you know, most singers, you know, they had like Shalimar, you know. I would hear it, man. He looked like a man. He looked like he was handsome. He looked like he can get all the ladies, you know, Teddy Pendergrass, you know, 6'4", you know, dark skinned, you know, darker than a Hershey bar, looking good. The Temptations, you know, Gladys Knight and the Pips. Nowadays, all the singers, just think about it. It look like they're on, you know, one of these shows, you know, making a band. You know, I'm serious.
Right.
They look like they all look like little kids. When you think about music that you know, like just say Fresh does concert, they're looking for little kids. It's no grown-ups anymore out there that's really doing music. Just think about it for a second. Everybody's young and they look like little kids, like, you know, like your kids will be watching them, not you. You know, so I just think times have changed so much in that fashion.
Well, you know, music always changes with the times, and yeah, there's a youth wave that's come in. But P. Sirius says, "Book D. Bry was right. Wrestling fans are just too fickle."
Wrestling fans are fickle, man. I mean, one thing about the wrestling fan today, they got that social media and that comment, you know, section where they can, you know, really want to be, you know, like Brad. You know, Brad want to book the show a lot. You know, there's a lot of people out there that look at the wrestling business, just like that kid told me at fantasy camp, you know, a month ago. You know, wrestling, you know, it's wrestling. Anybody can do it. You know, men can fight women. Women can fight men. You know, and I was like, what are you talking about? You know, I mean, when we start thinking like that, and when you think, I always used to say, man, when someone think that they can get up off the sofa and do what I do, we got a problem. You know, when somebody really think that they can jump up off the sofa, they didn't have social media back then, but if they thought that they could jump up off the sofa and get in the ring and do what I did on a weekly, nightly basis, monthly, and yearly basis, I wasn't doing my job. I wasn't doing my job right. And I think that's what we have a lot today where, you know, you see, you know, not trying to throw dirt on them or anything like that, but you see somebody like Joey Janela light his foot on fire, and somebody's sitting at home watching that and they go, man, I could do that. Anybody, I mean,
yeah, anybody can light their foot on fire.
They're just playing. That's not real. I mean, when you start looking at it like that, that's why I think we're, you know, in the place we are right now.
Allison Tuckwap is back again. Can you ask your wife to come back and wrestle for WWE? Maybe she can push the Raw women's roster. Can you please bring Princess Charmel back? I bet she can push the roster and make it look good.
That's
like
yeah.
such a kitten.
That's Queen. That's Queen Charmel. And the thing is, Charmel, I know she wouldn't want to come back and do any wrestling or anything like that, but Charmel could definitely help that promo department. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure of that. Charmel can definitely teach those girls because Charmel is, she's an actor by trade. She's working on that part of her game all the time. And that's one thing about the wrestling today, I think the wrestlers don't focus on as much as we did back in the day was the acting.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong there, but I think the guys back in the day, just say for instance, Jake the Snake Roberts, he knew he wasn't the most talented wrestler on the card, but he could make you feel more than anybody else, just by the way he talked to you, and the way he act. And I think that's what's missing today more so than anything.
I think guys like Kevin Owens, there are a few guys on the roster when they deliver something, like I completely believe that they're that person. Do you know what I mean? Like when Kevin Owens is doing this whole thing with Ezekiel, I believe him, when he's doing his promo. Like I believe what he's saying is true. I don't know how else to explain it, but you're right. Charmel can do a great job. She works with the reality wrestling students on their promos. I think WWE would be great for her. I also think she could be a great manager, great valet for somebody. Great manager, great mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Allison Tuckwap again says, Booker T, forgive me for doing a mistake on her. I was trying to spell your wife's name and it spelled kitten. Oh, I wondered what the kitten thing was. I was like, why did she say kitten at the end? That's an odd thing to say, but it was a misspelling. Okay, cool. No worries. No big deal. Right. Kitten. I'm looking for the next super chat here. I know there's another one that I missed. But Charmel, I think, would be a great addition. And here's our next super chat. It is from Daniel Raphael, who says, why hasn't Shelton Benjamin become the heavyweight champion? He's one of the best wrestlers on the roster, can go toe-to-toe with anyone, probably the most overlooked talent in the company. Don't disagree.
No, don't disagree, at all. But one thing about, one's career, everybody's not going to be the heavyweight champion, and I know, Shelton has all the tools. He's always been a guy that I felt like you could put in that position, and I thought he could have held it, especially when he was doing the what was it, the gold
standard.
Gold standard. When he was doing that, I thought, man, this is Shelton's time. Shelton's chance to get a little piece of the action. It didn't happen for him, and it's a lot that goes on with why that kind of stuff don't happen. Being in the right place at the right time, having that person that's backing you, and letting everybody know this is the guy that we need to run with. That there again, I had that. I don't know if Shelton has ever had, that, working for him. So Shelton has all the tools, but why Shelton hadn't become the heavyweight champion at least once. It's just the way the business is. Jake the Snake Roberts never became champion.
Scott Hall was never world champion.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the episode Warrior, where Jake the Snake was supposed to win the title, and the Warrior had helped Vince McMahon up for more money. And Vince said, as soon as he come out of that ring, I'm going to fire him. And he came out of the ring and he looked at Warrior and he told him, you're fired. And he looked at Jake the Snake Roberts and said, you got the worst damn luck anybody ever seen. Because that went his title match. And he never won the title after that, certain situations, you know what I mean? So,
And you're right, it does happen in the business. I remember there was a Saturday night's main event. It was going to be the Hart Foundation versus the Rockers. All right, so this is Bret Hart, Jim Neidhart.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Shawn and Marty Jannetty. They're supposed to have a 2 out of 3 falls match, right? They start getting into the match. The middle rope breaks, right? I think it was the middle rope or the top rope breaks.
Yep.
I think it was the top rope.
It's top rope.
And they couldn't do anything in the match. The Rockers won the titles, and then they got back to the back, and Vince says, "Can't air that. Y'all aren't the champions." And they had to give the titles in Gorilla back to the Hart Foundation because the match was unairable.
Hey, man, it's the business. It's just part of the game. It's just part of the game. So hopefully Shelton, something happened for Shelton. Maybe it's not too late. Say that.
It's not too late. It's never too late. This guy named Alex says, do you think negative wrestling journalism can take away from the emotional buildup of specific storylines?
Yeah, I think so. That's why we never really try to delve into storylines, from that perspective, because I don't want anyone to just say, for instance, be looking for spoilers here, looking for us to say something about, somebody's match to the point to where they got to feel a certain way about going out there and working. Then I just don't believe in, that type of journalism. And for me, there again, I'd rather bring you up opposed to, crapping on you and trying to push you down. I'd rather give you some constructive criticism to where you can say, man, what are he talking about? To the point to where, man, anybody got book number? I got to call them, call me so I could tell you specifically exactly what I'm talking about. So, perhaps it could be that one thing to help you get to that next level, so that's what we try to do here inside the Hall of Fame is, uplift opposed to bringing somebody down. But if it's somebody that need to be brought down, trust me, we're gonna touch on it, but it's gonna be from a respectful perspective. You feel me on that?
I feel you. Last question of the day before we wrap up is from Franks92, who says, teach me how to be a booker, Booker.
Man, it's hard to be taught how to be a booker. That's something it's almost like on the job training. You got to been around for me, so many people that's made so many mistakes to where I look at things from that 30,000 viewers and say, hey man, let's figure this out. Let's try not to make those same mistakes everybody else has made over the years, trying to get to that next level, especially in professional wrestling. Having a small company like Reality Wrestling, big show going down this Saturday night, Summer of Champions, Booker T, big 5-on-5 match. Team Booker versus Team Sharmell. We're gonna go in there and just do them like it's supposed to be done. Make it all of them bow down. And I'm coming in jacked as well. And you know what? I'm bringing that red and yellow flamed outfit back from Harlem Heat. Back in the day, I just want to let everybody know, all my fans to know that when they see Booker T come out on Saturday night, he will have the nose strip on. He will have the flaming red on, and he will be beating the hell out of somebody at the same time. Guys, we got to get out of here right now. You've been inside the Hall of Fame getting your champagne wishes and your I thought we had a super chat. Caviar dreams. Appreciate all you super chatters, man. We really do. Bradley, as always, man, thanks. And I couldn't do it without you. But right now, peace. We out of here.